Okay, here's your warm-up for section 7.7. Go ahead and pause this and take about 5 minutes to work these two problems out, and then we'll come back and work them out together. So go ahead and pause. Okay, so this is when we did regression. So what we talked about yesterday in class was the regression part for section 7.7. So this is when you go to your graphing calculator, you go to Stat, and then Edit, and then we put in these values for list 1 and list 2. So your X values are your list 1, and so that'd be 1 and 2. And then your Y values are your list 2, so you put them across from their corresponding part. Okay, now I'm going to go to my graphing calculator here. Okay, so I'm in my graphing calculator, so we go to Stat. We want to edit our lists. And so if you have other items in there, remember how to clear it is you highlight the list, hit clear, and then enter. That way you don't have to delete each one separately. So highlight, clear, enter. So list 1 was our X values, so 1 and 2. So I'm just hitting enter after each one. Then list 2, in the order, we had 6 and then 18. Okay. Then we go back to Stat. Now we're going to calculate, and this problem asked you for the exponential equation. So we are going to look for exponential regression, which is right there. Okay, so I'm going to pick that. And then depending on your calculator, you may have to hit enter a couple of times. And so they give you the equation so that your y equals your a value times b raised to the x power. And so a is 2 and b is 3. So then how that translates then back into our work here, then your equation should be y equals the a value, and I usually put parentheses around the base, raised to the x power. And there's your answer. Okay. Now the next one is asking for a power function or a power equation that passes through these points. So you still do your list 1 and list 2. So in this case, list 1 is 1 and 3. List 2 will be 4 and 36. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to my calculator. And go back to Stat, Edit. And then for list 1, that was 1 and then 3. List 2, that was 4 and then 36. Okay, then we go to Stat. Now to calculate, and this one asked you for a power function, so this will be power regression, which will be PWR REG, which is right there. And then again, depends on how many times you have to hit equals before you get this. Now the power one, remember x is now the base, so you do your a value times x raised to whatever the b value is this time. Okay, so let me go back so we can write this equation down. So this equation then should be y equals the a value times x raised to the b value, which in this case was y equals 4x squared. So it's all calculator for this one. I'm not going to make you do anything by hand for that.